Hi, everybody. We're back with one of our testimonies from one of our programs. Today, a core program testimony. And I'm here today with my brother, not just my bro or broski, like all the other bros and broskis I've been on a call with, but my real family brother. And so, Eugen, you want to introduce yourself a bit?
Yeah, hi, as Andy said, I'm his brother and his brother by blood. And yeah, I'm 24 years old. I'm 25 years old, from Germany. And I currently live with my sister in the little town of Gießen. Yeah, student city. And I'm currently studying. Yeah,
Sounds good. Yes, Gießen is in Germany, everybody, because nobody knows Gießen. We figured that out.
little town, yeah.
At least personally. Yeah, so thank you for coming on. And you did, so today we want to hear about your core experience. You did both before, right? You've done Ascend in the past and like 90-day challenge, like before Ascend, but then you wanted to do core. And I remember you liked that a bit. So you went from an Ascend experience to core experience. How was your experience in the core program?
Yeah, so yeah, like you said, I did um the Ascent program before and also like a boot camp before. And it was an interesting experience for me, like doing that, like talking about these topics in a group, like on a weekly basis, about like sexual integrity, like topics. And I decided to do core because I felt maybe it would good to be, yeah, maybe it would be good to pursue the things that I actually also like want in my life rather than like just trying to like get rid of the things that keep me down kind of or like keep me depressed or keep me at a low level. So I felt like doing a core program would be a step into like pursuing something that I really want in my life. And that's why I decided to do it. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so yeah, Ascend or boot camp, you said you even were part of the boot camp, right? Something we don't run anymore right now, but I
Yeah.
was even a part of in the past. We had these boot camps with Andrew and just Andrew, some other
Yeah.
facilitators.
I think I was in one of the last, yeah, boot camps.
Okay.
I think
And that
12.
felt like a lot like working on problems and maybe working on the negative. And then going into core, it felt more like working on the positive and what you want to work towards, like the positive in your life.
Yeah, exactly. I felt like in core, like the tone was very different. Like,
Mm.
or like the focus was very different. Like it was really focused on like how to like like just prepare yourself for the matching and blessing, to prepare yourself for partnership. And also the conversations went into a different kind of direction, which is why I felt like the tones or like the sub levels of the programs, like they were really different, I feel. Like at least for myself, yeah, it was that way. And that's why I felt like core, yeah, it felt more like a positive experience for me, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that because we get different kinds of people, right? We get some people who feel very comfortable starting in core, and in core, they realize, oh, I got to work on my sexual integrity to prepare for the matching and blessing. And so then they go into Ascend. And then we have another kind of person who starts with Ascend, working on their sexual integrity. And then as they do that, they want to go into the next step, working on the matching. And then they go into core. And so it sounds like for you, you experience, you found it more helpful to go into core, where the conversation was broader maybe and more about goal. Can you speak more about, yeah, how was it different when you joined core, and what about it helped you or was more comfortable for you?
Yeah. So I think what I already mentioned, like the shift in focus, I feel like, I mean, the reasons why I joined the Ascent program and also the bootcamp were like, mainly and mostly because of I wanted to get rid of like sexual integrity programs and I wanted to have like sexual integrity, like a better sexual integrity in my life,
Mm-hmm.
which felt more like getting rid of a problem or getting rid of something that is in myself or that I am already dealing with for a long time. but for the reason, like what I thought about today was like mainly for the reason because I wanted to go to the matching and blessing. So it always felt like I need to get rid of that in order to do that. Um, so there was always like this condition thing, like I needed to do something in order to like go towards the matching and blessing. Um,
Mm.
which is not necessarily untrue, but it always felt like a pressure. And core, like joining core, it actually started to feel like I'm doing a step towards something that I really want in my life without like having all this pressure on myself, kind of like it was basically just I go there because I want to prepare for it. And there's not something big I need to get rid of from myself, but rather it was rather like I can prepare already, no matter in which state I am right now. So going to core felt much lighter than like dealing with, um, yeah, I guess kind of like the dark side of these topics, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah, the dark
if you can
side,
call it that. Yeah,
the places we don't go to.
yeah,
No, the places we go
exactly.
to. Yeah, thank you. That's interesting. So it felt for you, it felt like you cannot even start working on the matching before having figured out sexual integrity. And so this was a fresh switch up, it sounds like for you too. And it helped you change that belief and like change the story for you, right? It's like I'm working on my sexual integrity and I can already start working on the matching and preparing myself for it. And I don't need this to weigh me down, right? More than necessary. I can go forward. Would you say there was like a change of story and a change of belief, maybe about your journey?
Yeah, yeah, I guess you already described it really well. Yeah, for me, it was, I mean, I was already thinking about the matching and blessing before I joined core, and I also thought about like how I could like make steps towards it. But I mean, the habit of like, or like not having like a stable like sexual integrity, was something always like holding me back from making actual steps. And I felt like joining core was maybe one of the first real steps I took in towards like the actual goal rather than like the sub goal or the goal in the middle of like also like healing myself from like the sexual like integrity problem, I guess. So yeah, it was one of the first steps and I guess fresh steps into this topic, into the matching and blessing journey. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this was like your first, I guess, bigger encounter and like step towards that journey and doing like a program, right? Or a workshop. So core was one of the first ones. How, yeah, has it helped you prepare for marriage? What were some things that you learned during that time in any area? You did it twice, right? Once as a participant and then another time as a facilitator. And then from either of those times, um, how are those experiences? What did you learn?
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, I've participated twice. Um, I think or what I really learned from it or what I could gain from it was that I could just like meet up with a group of people, with a group of brothers, regularly, and that I could like talk about things that I don't talk about so often in my daily life, I guess. It's not something I would like mention very often, like for example, how I would like to prepare for my matching and blessing, or how I would like to be as a husband, how I would like my sex life to be in the future, stuff like that. So it's like I feel that was really helpful, like meeting with a group that is already clear on a certain routine and also clear on that these topics are gonna be like on the schedule, I guess, like on the talking schedule. And I felt like that was good for me because talking about it and also like thinking about it, like provoking the thought process, I guess, um, it kept me or it helped me, yeah, stay focused on the topic and to also like think it more through, I guess. Like thinking it more through, like not only going over certain ideas like once or twice, but also like going over it like more often. And I feel like this helped, like, yeah, dedicating the time, meeting with people, and then thinking about it more and more, and actually like kind of like making it more substantial. Yeah, making things more substantial. Yeah. So I think
Mhm.
that's what I gained from it. Like, what I gained from it is what I put into it, I guess, kind of like, yeah, the time that was needed, the time which we met, but then also, I guess, the preparation that I did beforehand, and then also the thoughts that were starting to get more active when I was joining the program. Yeah. And also after that. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's what I gained from it. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, like with everything, what we put into it, right, is how our experience gets amplified and what we can get out of it. So it sounds like I'm hearing it was an experience of brotherhood, kind of having a brothers group and being able to talk more about deeper topics on a regular base and then going deeper with topics as they come up more often, making them more substantial. What did that mean for you? Like making things more substantial. Do you have an example how things became more substantial through the group experience?
Mm, yeah, I mean, I think the first time I joined core, I think it was in 2023 or 2024. I'm not sh quite sure. But I think around the time I also joined, I really started to like implement things that I would actually need for my matching and blessing. For example, like going to um, I don't actually know how to call it in English, but I guess like purity interview or like
Hmm.
an interview, matching interview where you talk about, yeah, yourself and your state of purity. And for example, this is something I did, or I started also to talk more with my parents about the topics, because I really wanted to make steps. Like core was one of the steps in order to prepare myself, but then with core or doing core, I also started to do steps, yeah, like actual steps towards it that were actually substantial, like the interview or like talking with my parents more about it, or even like being very concrete with my parents what I think about like certain people or stuff like that. So I don't know if core, I guess core was somehow a factor in order to like get all these things going more or get these things like more active. Yeah. I guess it was one of the factors, the program. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What I'm hearing is that it helped you get the ball rolling and
Yeah. Yeah.
sparked, yeah, the inspiration to start talking about certain topics more, right? With our parents and
Yeah.
thinking more concretely what are next steps. That's cool. Yeah, that is one of the goals we have in core, right? To that people can feel inspired to take their next step, whatever that looks like in their journey towards marriage, towards matching blessing.
Hmm.
Um, okay. Do you have any um do you remember any lesson, something that stood out to you from something you learned about intimacy or sexuality or marriage during the program?
Mm, yeah. So my experience, I mean, it has been already like a few months or almost even half a year since I have joined the program or since I ended my program. Um, I think one of the things that stuck to my head is that it's good to prepare beforehand, yeah, and to also like prepare some foundations before you start to get the ball rolling. And I'm not only talking about, I guess, like things like getting your sexual integrity straight, but also getting your faith foundation straight and then getting your like knowing your own identity kind of these things. I feel like this is something that was like yeah mentioned in core like a lot that it's important to like have the foundation and then to build that foundation up towards the point where you yeah ask someone for the matching or before you get matched and then eventually blessed, I guess. So I think that is something that is still, I would say, like it is something I remembered. It's this pyramid that I think Benji was talking about, yeah, and that
Mhm.
I thought was like a helpful picture to work with. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So an emphasis on growing yourself, right, as a person in different areas of your life,
yeah.
becoming a marriageable person. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for sharing. Is there anything else you want to share with people listening, or for example, somebody who might be on the fence about should I join this or should I not? Do you have any closing message?
Um, yeah. I think it's never. I think just join the program and see what it can do for you. I think that's what I would give to somebody that I would talk to and to somebody who's still on the fence about it. Because I think there's nothing you can lose like joining the program. The only things you can gain joining the program is like a nice community, like talking with people that have the same thing in mind, I guess, or like a very similar thing in mind and something they also work towards. And something that you can maybe you can also like gain something out of it, like very like from the topics, from the talks, from everything that the program has to offer. Maybe it surprises you. So I think just try it because it is a helpful program. It helps you to get your mind straight, to get your head straight, and to put yourself more into the game, I guess. Yeah,
Mm.
I think that's how I would like to conclude my interview. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for sharing about your experience and um, across programs, right? From first participating in Ascend and then boot camp, core. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you again for another testimony. That's it for today. See you later.